In the early summer of 2009, a series of disappearances rippled through the quiet outskirts of Duluth, Minnesota. At first, no one paid much attention. A missing dog here, a dead deer there. Strange, but nothing new for the wild forests of the north. But within weeks, it escalated. Hikers gone without a trace. Campsites found shredded, tents torn apart like paper. And then, the first human remains were found, torn so violently that local authorities refused to release photos to the public. Officially, they said it was a bear, a rogue grizzly that wandered too far south. But the people who live here, they know better. They've seen the eyes watching from the tree line, yellow and unblinking. What they don't tell you is that something escaped from the Duluth Zoo that summer. An animal never meant for public eyes. A creature that vanished into the forests and left a trail of blood in its wake. This is the story of the Duluth Shade and the killing spree they tried to erase. According to leaked records, the Duluth Zoo had quietly acquired a specimen that summer. Officially, it was labeled as a Panthera hybrid, a crossbreed between African lions and undocumented big cats from Central Asia. But behind the scenes, the staff called it something else, Atrox, named after the ancient American lion, larger, more aggressive, long thought extinct. This animal wasn't meant for public display. Not yet. It was too unstable, too dangerous. On the night of June 14th, 2009, a power outage struck the zoo. Cameras went dark. Electric locks failed. And in that blackout, the shade slipped through. Within hours, the first deaths occurred. Not in the zoo, but miles away, in the residential edges of Duluth. A family's Labrador, found torn apart in their backyard. A deer herd slaughtered near Jay Cook State Park. But there was something unnatural. The bodies weren't eaten. They were mutilated, limbs torn, but the organs untouched. Locals said it looked more like a message than a hunt. For days, the attacks continued. But when two hikers, Michael Greaves and Danielle Holt, vanished near the St. Louis River, the tone changed. Their campsite was found shredded. Blood was everywhere, but no bodies were ever recovered. By then, the whispers had begun. The zoo stayed silent. The police claimed it was a rogue bear, but the Ojibwe elders spoke of something else. A shadow in the woods. By late June, the killings could no longer be ignored. In just 14 days, 7 confirmed deaths. 3 hikers, 2 campers, a park ranger, and a father and son dragged from their cabin south of Cloquet. Their bodies were never fully recovered. Only fragments, bone shards, and blood trails that led deep into the forest and vanished. Witnesses began to come forward. A fisherman near the St. Louis River claimed he saw it at dawn. An enormous cat, dark as midnight, its eyes burning yellow. It moved like liquid shadow, too large to be real. 8 feet long, he said, bigger than any mountain lion. But it didn't run. It watched him, and then it vanished. Hunters found claw marks, carved 6 feet high into the trees. Claws deeper than any bear. Prints too wide for a cougar, but too fresh to be ancient. Locals, they started calling it the Duluth Shade. Not an animal, but a shadow. A thing that slips between the trees and only leaves death behind. Even armed search parties failed. One group of 6 volunteer hunters entered the woods near Jay Cook Park. Only 2 came back, bloodied, half-mad. They refused to speak, but one was heard muttering in the hospital. By early July, Duluth was in quiet panic. People locked their doors at sundown. Campgrounds were closed. Helicopters scanned the forests, but always too late. Officially, they said it was a bear, a single rogue animal. But those who lived through that summer, they knew the truth. Something old, something powerful, had broken free, and no cage was strong enough to hold it anymore. By late July, the official narrative was locked in place. Minnesota Wildlife Services issued a statement. The threat had been neutralized. A large bear, they claimed, was shot and killed south of Cloquet. Photos of the carcass were released, blurry and unconvincing. Locals whispered that the photo showed an animal too small, too wrong, but no one dared challenge the story. The Duluth Zoo denied everything. Their records showed no missing animals, no power outage, no escape. The Panthera hybrid, they claimed, had never existed. But behind closed doors, reports tell a different story. A leaked park ranger audio file surfaced years later, recorded on his last patrol before he vanished. "It's not gone, saw it again near the river. Tracks fresh, bigger than before." Since then, sightings have never stopped. As recently as 2023, hikers claim they've seen something massive, black as shadow, watching from the trees near Duluth. The scars remain. Ask the old families, the hunters, the rangers who still won't set foot near certain parts of the forest. They call it the Duluth Shade, a creature born of blood, sharpened by captivity, and set loose upon the wilderness. And if you find yourself camping near Duluth and hear the snap of branches at night, don't look out, don't call for help, just stay still and pray that it's only the wind. For more forgotten nightmares and creatures lost to time, subscribe to Wild Continuum Unveiled.